I just saw a meme that said I grew up with an amazing dad, and it led me to believe that men were actually good.
Imagine my surprise. I'm an adult in my 20s with my own place and crib, and I'm getting asked out, hey, can I get your number, whatever. And I'm thinking this man is going to be the example that I've had my whole life, and that was furthest from the case. And then I thought, well, maybe it's the age, because I was in my 20s. Maybe it's the age. As I get older, it'll get better. That's also false. That's also false.
And I grew up with a shitty mom, so that led me to believe that, all women were going to be shitty when I got older. See how that works, right? Or what about the guys who y'all complain about, who get on here and talk about how y'all are not the women that their mothers are? Because they grew up with a great mother who spoiled them, who cooked for them, who cleaned behind them, who picked up behind them, who did all the things that a good mother's supposed to do that y'all turn y'all nose up at, right? All the things that men get on here and say that their mothers are so great for, that y'all say, oh, I'm not going to do that because I'm not your mama. It's funny how y'all get on here with this trend about, I had a great father, so I thought, men, when I dated, were going to treat me like my daddy. And it led me to believe that all men were going to be good. And then when I got out here, I realized men ain't shit. But that's because you're not fucking your daddy. Your daddy provides you unconditional love, unconditional providing, nurturing things, because that's your daddy. You know what I'm saying? The same about a mother. That's your mother, not your girl. Romantic relationships are risk. Romantic relationships are give and take. Romantic relationships require both people to put in, whereas your daddy or your mama are supposed to just do. Two completely different relationship dynamics.
One guy was in my TikTok comments and he was talking about how he would never date a woman that was like his mother. And I was like, you must hate your mom. Like, your mother must suck. Because from what I know, a lot of the men who did get married and are in stable relationships, they're in relationships with women who have similar personalities as their mom, like the good traits of their mother, not a whole bunch of negative stuff. And no, it's not like this perverted thing, like they want to sleep with their mom. It's just like, no, their mother had the good qualities of a mother and wife. And so men will look into other women and see, can they find those positive things? So when women go out in the street and they're looking for a man who's like their father, or he might be kind to them or provide to them financially, it doesn't mean that they're looking for a man who's going to be there for them unconditionally. It's more of, there are positive traits that our parents showed us that they had inside of their marriage or inside of their relationship. And a lot of times, if some of us watched our parents have a healthy relationship with the opposite sex, we want to mimic that same thing. I've noticed a lot of married people, marriage runs in their family. In my family, marriage runs in my family, but divorce also runs in it as well. So yeah, everybody's been married with the exception of like my mom, because my mom was a single mom. But all my other aunts have been married and a couple of them have been divorced. My grandmother been married and divorced at least 3 or 4 times. Oftentimes I see on the internet people who didn't have a good relationship with their parents, or people who, always got something negative to say about parents. It's like, you just didn't grow up in a family where, you were taught to be a good husband or a good wife. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you look at family the way that you do. I'm actually surprised I look at family the way that I do. I'm very family oriented. And it's weird because my mother was never married. She wasn't like the best mother in the world either. So honestly, I feel like they're not looking for their father. They're looking for someone who has the positive traits that their father has. And that's not even really a bad thing at the end of the day, because a lot of men who are good have similar traits, even if they're not related to you. You know what I mean?